Now, first it was Walmart, and now supermarket chain Albertsons, joining a growing trend.
5 votes. We're talking 5 votes here. Republicans are looking for some help to try to get this through.
Fox 10's Matt Rodewald live at Power in Maine and Mesa, where they have been getting pounded. It looks like you're getting pummeled, Matt.
Yeah, this is some of the heaviest monsoon rains we've seen in the entire summer months. Even in the last, I'm not kidding, the last 30 seconds it unloaded right where we are. And where we are, this was not covered with water 30 seconds ago. Now you got a whole inch of water. So that's how fast the standing water can happen. We've seen sheets of wind come through here, and probably about 2 minutes before we hit the air, a very strong lightning strike, probably about a half a mile from where we are, knocked out the lights on the street. Very nerve-wracking for sure.
There's also an investigation in Brooklyn, New York, Minneapolis, and California. The Department of Homeland Security is involved, and all of it touched off by a simple shoplifting arrest at this Chandler Walmart. And the damage is absolutely devastating. You can see the second floor essentially collapsing in as a result of the flames and the smoke and the water being poured on this to put it out.
You can see movement in that car right there in a ladder. This is a car that's in a canal. They are pulling this out. The Bird Gang's despair quickly turning to hope, and then it turned into I don't know what, because it was a tie. President Trump is zeroing in on any opportunity to praise the economy as Congress gets ready to return from Washington. There is only one rule. There is no way you can leave this festival with a clean shirt, because it is all about getting down and dirty. It is Mess Fest, and it's over at Horse Park in Queen Creek.
March for Our Lives, they were angry last year when they were here at the state capitol. They've changed their tactics to become tactical and work on policy instead of politics.
One of the businesses that's closest to the scene of the crime is Alterations and Creations. This is a woman who's been in business along Roosevelt Road for 3 decades.
It can happen at 66 degrees, in which that happened across the country maybe a year or two ago. It was 88 degrees for the high temperature, which is normal for this time of year.
Linda, you know there's somebody watching this on their throne right now, streaming through the old Fox 10 app. So this goes out to you. Thieves in the UK take off with a solid gold toilet. It is worth more than $1 million. Now we've worked our way from Casa Grande back on towards the I-10. You can see the clouds are really the story at this point. How do you fix it? Let's talk to people who can. So I asked for candidates to come down to our Fox 10 studios to come up with some ideas, put it on a whiteboard. And 2 of them responded from very different parts of the state. We have mass shootings. Everybody wants to stop it. How do we stop it? We have a whiteboard. Let's come up with ideas.
The most common sense area we can start, which is popular and supported by the majority of Americans, are universal background checks.
What that is going to do is make it harder for, when my grandfather dies, to leave his guns to me, a law-abiding citizen. I have to now go spend money to have a background check to have.
Well, within H.R. 8, though, there is a transfer between family members that that's excluded from that instance.
But it specifically only says spouse.
That's a really good point.
Though it specifically only mentions the spouse.
You want to expand that to maybe put that in some sort of estate plan?
Well, it should be, and that's the whole larger
Which makes sense. I understand your point.
Yeah, be at the federal level.
Yeah. The bottom line is when we talk about common sense, and then you get into these bills, and the common sense starts going out the window.
Does somebody need a weapon that can shoot 100 rounds at a time in 30 seconds?
It's not going to limit criminals, because criminals are going to get what they need. And so as law-abiding citizens, we should always have the right that's protected by the Second Amendment to have the firepower that we would need to protect our family.
But I don't believe that you can make the connection that because more people have access to assault-style weapons, that we're safer, and that's the connection there. Now, I own an AR-15. I have the boxes of .223. So, we're not debating whether or not, I certainly don't want to give up my weapons. There's a lot of this stuff, common sense stuff, funding the CDC, passing background checks, voting on any of the bills coming in office. They're being stalled because the agendas behind the scenes for these politicians they're protecting the interests of anybody but us.
And I'd like to add to that, I think that this idea that the elected officials are going to save us from this insanity, we have to start looking at ourselves. We have to start looking at our sphere of influence, who we can be kind, be nice, don't do anything online that you wouldn't do in the real world.
So in our 40 minutes, 2 agreements, background checks and mental health reform. Progress, sure, we will take it. The U.S. makes up less than 5% of the world's population. You probably know that, but it has 31% of the world's mass shootings. And those numbers came out in the aftermath of Las Vegas, so it's probably changed since then. There are currently 110 bills in Congress with the word gun on them. 82 of them have been written by Democrats. Just some facts as we continue to move this issue forward. Reporting tonight, Matt Rodewald, Fox 10 News.